students. Good morning, all of you. Once again, warm welcome to the mobile computing online class. Today, I would like to discuss unit number 2, lecture number 5. In the previous 4 lectures, we covered some part of unit number 2. Now, in this lecture number 5, it is the continuation of the lecture number 4, which we have discussed in the previous session. So the lecture number 4 and lecture number 3 related to the TDMA, time division multiple access. In the time division multiple access, so how the time is divided into number of slots and allocated to the users, allocated to the mobile stations for sharing data packets and transmitting data. So before starting this session, I would like to brief what we discussed in the past session. That is lecture number 4. In the lecture number 4, we covered Aloha schemas, because in the TDMA, depending on the time, the data packets transmits from one location to the another location. So there in the TDMA, so TDMA is the more flexible one when compared with the FDMA for wireless transmission media. So for in the wireless transmission medium, there are multiple accessing mediums we have using for transmitting data packets. So here in the classical Aloha, data packets transmitted by multiple senders. So data packets transmitted by or sent by multiple senders. But here the disadvantage of classical Aloha, as we already discussed it in the earlier, there is no certain time period for data packet transmission. So randomly they transmit data packets, sender A, sender B, and sender C. These are the data packets sent by the sender C. These are the data packets sent by the sender B. These are the data packets sent by the sender A. So if the sender sends the packet data randomly without time period, automatically collision is occurred. So there is no exact time slot on what time it has to transmit data. There is no exact time slot here. So whenever data is ready, it transmits it sends that data packets to the receiver. So it affects the medium, and a collision is occurred in the classical Aloha. So to avoid this, one refinement, that is one modification, is done for classical Aloha is slotted Aloha. So here in the slotted Aloha, time is divided into slots. If the senders wants to send data at the beginning of time slot only, if data is ready between the time slot, but they wait to transmit the data packet until the beginning of the next time slot. For example, sender A transmits the data at 9 a.m. So sender B's data is ready for 9:15 a.m. but he waits until 10 a.m. If these slots are 1 hour slots. If we consider these slots are the 1 hour slots, so in morning 9 a.m. sender A sends a packet. So sender's B data packet is ready to transmit 9:15 or 9:10 a.m. but he wait until 10 a.m. to transmit the data packets. This is one of the refinement or modification done for the pure aloha. But there is some drawbacks also there for the slotted aloha, because at same time slot multiple senders transmit the data packet, that affects the collision. So there is a possibility of collision. So to overcome this, so another technique, the mostly used technique for wireless is CSMA. So carrier sense multiple access. So in the CSMA, so there are three persistence methods are there: high persistent, non persistent, and P persistent. So that is if medium is ideal, it sends immediately. So immediate persistence, and waits for some time, and again waits for some time and transmit the data packet, that is non persistent. And P persistent means wait for some time and sends again. Then if the medium is empty, then it transmits the packet. So that is I, N, and P persistence methods we discussed. And next aloha schema is the reservation aloha schema. Here in the reservation aloha schema, so some particular time slots are allocated for the users. In that particular time slot only, there is a possibility of transmitting data. That is the reservation aloha. So these are the topics we covered in the lecture number 4. These are very most important for the short answers point of view in the university examination pattern. Next, coming to the lecture number 5. Here, the first topic is PRMA, packet reservation multiple access. Packet reservation multiple access, PRMA, packet reservation multiple access. So it is a kind of implicit reservation scheme where slots can be reserved implicitly. So a certain number of slots form a frame. The frame is repeated in time. That is, a fixed TDM pattern is applied. A fixed TDM pattern is applied. So we covered this fixed TDM pattern topic in the lecture number 3. So time is divided into some slots. So one slot is allocated for uplink and one slot is allocated for the downlink. So in this fixed TDM pattern, it is applied a base station which could be as a satellite now broadcasts the status of each slot to all mobile stations. So all stations reserving these vector will then know which slot is occupied and which slot is currently free. For example, their total 8 number of slots are there. So first 6 slots are busy, 7th slot is empty, and again 8th slot is busy. So we exactly know here which slot is empty and which slot is busy. So here in the packet reservation multiple access. So all stations receiving this vector will then know which slot is occupied and which slot is currently free. So if you observe this diagram, so here in the frame 1, 7th slot is empty. Here in the frame 2, 3rd, 7th and 8th slots are empty. Coming to the frame 3, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 8th slots are empty. Frame number 4, 2, 3, 4 are empty. So in this way, which slot is empty is the time slots. So collision at reservation attempts. So already these slots are reserved for some user to transmit data, to send some amount of data. So if another user, another mobile station wants to transmit data by using these slots, there a collision is occurred. So that what we already discussed in the earlier session. So someone booked a ticket in the bus. So another one wants to book the same seat or sitting in that particular seat, automatically a collision will be occurred. 100% that seat is allocated to those who are reserved first. So likewise, here some slots are, we know which slots are empty and which slots are busy. Here we means the mobile station knows which slots are busy and which slots are empty. So the base station broadcasts the reservation status A, C, D, A, B, A, and E dash represents empty slot and F. So A, C, D, A, B, A, and this is the empty slot and F to all stations. Here A to F. This means that slots 1 to 6 and 8 are occupied, but slot 7 is free in the following transmission. So 1 to 6 is occupied and 8 is occupied. Slot 7 is empty here. and all stations wishing to transmit can now compete for this free slot in a Aloha fashion. So how it is allocated is that is allocated in the Aloha fashion. So the already occupied slots are not touched. Already occupied slots are not touched in the example shown. So here the example, there is no possibility of seats occupied by the data slots, data frames. So if they touched that slots, automatically a collision is occurred. So the base station returns the reservation status ACDABA hyphen A ACDABA hyphen F to all stations here A to F. This means that slots 1 to 6 and 8 are occupied, but slot 7 is free in the following transmission. So all stations wishing to transmit can now compete for this free slots in Aloha fashion. The already occupied slots are not touched. So the base station returns the reservation status ACDABA-F, indicating the reservation of slot 7 failed. Still, it indicates as free, and that nothing has changed for the other slots, and again stations can compete for this slot. So here the 7th slot is empty, but it is reserved for some other one. So additionally, station D has stopped sending in slot 3 and station F in slot 8. So this is noticed by the base station after the second frame. After the second frame only it noticed. Before the third frame starts. So before the third frame starts, after the second frame, it noticed that this field is empty. So this is noticed by the base station after the second frame before the third frame starts. The base station indicates that slots 3 and 8 are now ideal. Slot 3 and 8 are 3 and 8 are ideal. So the station F has succeeded in as a reserving slot even as also indicated by the base station. So here the base station means the satellite in our perspective. So station F has succeeded in reserving slots 7 as also indicated by the base station. As soon as the station has succeeded with a reservation, all future slots are implicitly reserved for this station. So this ensures transmission with a guaranteed data rate. Some certain exact data rate is used for this transmission. So the slotted Aloha scheme is used for the ideal slots. So this slotted Aloha scheme is used for ideal slots only. The data transmission is not destroyed by collision. If collision is occurred, it destroys. So here the reservation TDMA. So here in the reservation TDMA, so already in the lecture 3 we discussed about the fixed TDMA. So but here in the reservation TDMA, it is a fixed TDM scheme, n mini slots followed by n star k data slots form a frame that is repeated. Each station is allotted its own mini slot and can use it to reserve up to k data slots. So n star k data slots, n mini slots, and here for example n is equals to 6 and k is equals to 2. So the reservation for data slots, other stations can use free data slots based on the round robin scheme. I think you guys completed this, how the round robin is happened there in the operating system, round robin algorithms. So how the slots are allocated depending on the round robin scheme. So this guarantees each station a certain bandwidth and a fixed delay. A certain bandwidth and a fixed delay. Other stations can now send data in unused data slots. So unused data slots as shown below. Okay, using these free slots can be based on a simple round robin scheme, or can be uncoordinated using an Aloha scheme, or this scheme allows for the combination of example the traffic extended for the data transmission, and which fixed bit rates, and best effort traffic without any guarantees, that is isochronous traffic. So this scheme allows for the combination. So the multiple data packets has to be combined and traveled here in the reservation TDMA. And next one, multiple access with collision avoidance. So how the multiple access is done is used for collision avoidance. So already we discussed in the past sessions, collision avoidance or collision detection or whatever it may be is done by using whenever the sensing is complete. It sends the medium, then transmits the data packets. So here in the multiple access with collision avoidance, MACA, multiple access with collision avoidance presents a simple scheme that solves the hidden terminal problem, does not need a base station, and is still a random access Aloha scheme but with dynamic reservation. And consider the hidden terminal problem scenario. So there is hidden terminal, that in the lecture number 2 of this unit. So A, B, C. So B is available to both A and C, but C is not in the range of A is not in the range of C. So A is the hidden for C and C is the hidden for A. So C also wants to send something to B and sends the medium. The medium appears to be free. The carrier sends fails. So C also starts sending, causing it. So there is a collision is occurred there in the B, that we discussed in the hidden terminal problem. Here in the but A cannot detect this collision at B and continues with its transmission. So A is hidden for C and vice versa. With these multiple access collision avoidance, A does not start its transmission at once, but sends a request to send RTS. So what is the drawback there in hidden terminal problem? To avoid that, so there in the hidden terminal problem, A not in the range of C, C not in the range of A, but B both in the range of A and C. So C doesn't know about A doesn't know about C. So when they transmit the data, automatically collision will be occurred there in the C. So to avoid this, here in the MACA, multiple access collision avoidance, it sends a request frame, that is RTS, request to send. So if A wants to send data to B, first it sends RTS frame, request to send frame. If you observe this diagram, if A wants to send data to B, first it sends RTS frame, request frame, it gets clear to send. Now B sends cleared, now I am free, so you transmit your data packet to me. That receiver sends CTS frame to A. Now A sends data to B. B receives the RTS that contains the name of sender and receiver, as well as the length of the future transmission, how much time it required, how much amount it transmitting. So that all consisting in the RTS frame. So sender sends RTS frame to the receiver. Receiver reads that RTS frame, where it's from, for what purpose it came to be, and how much time it required, and how much amount of data it traveled. So that's there in the RTS frame. This RTS is not heard by C, but it triggers an acknowledgement of B called clear to send. CTS is sent by B to C. So the CTS again contains the name of sender and receiver of the user data and the length of the future transmission. So this CTS is now heard by C and the medium for future used by A. So what it means, the medium is now used by A. So what happened there in hidden problem is C doesn't know about A doesn't know about C. So A sends data packet in the same manner C sends data packet. Both are collided B. But here to avoid that problem, here in the multiple access with collision avoidance, okay, A sends RTS frame, that is a request to send frame before transmitting data. It is accepted by B and B sends CTS clear to send, then A sends the data packet. Again C sends RTS frame. Whenever the B sends the CTS frame, then only C sends data to the B. So here the B knows how much amount need for the A and how much data is transmitted from A to B. So B sends the CTS after the time period needed by A. So for example, A needed 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes time. After that, only B is empty. So B sends CTS frame with a time period after 10:15 to C. So this CTS is now here by C and the medium for a future use by A is now reserved for the duration of the transmission. After receiving a CTS, C is not allowed to send anything for the duration indicates in the CTS towards B. So a collision cannot occur at B during data transmission because both are using RTS and CTS frames and the hidden terminal problem is solved. So what is the need for specialization MAC that we discussed in the lecture number 2? So there are some problems that occurred in the wireless communication. Those are hidden terminal problems, exposed terminal problems, near and far terminal problems. To avoid hidden terminal problems, this is the solution MC. So multiple access with collision avoidance. So the collision cannot occur at B during the data transmission and the hidden terminal problem is now solved. So still collision might occur when A and C transmits a RTS at the same time. Here is the another problem. If A sends RTS frame, B sends CTS frame, okay. But if A and C are sending RTS frames at same time, so that is the problem. Another problem occurred here. So in the situation, B resolves this contention and acknowledges only one station in the CTS. No transmission is allowed without an appropriate CT. So B receives both RTS, but it accepts only one CTS. So B wants the data from A, B wants data from C. But here no transmission is allowed without a appropriate CT. So now MACA tries to avoid the exposed terminal in the following way. So in this way it avoids a hidden terminal problem, and in this way it avoids exposed terminal. What is exposed terminal problems? For example, B wants to communicate with A by using medium. C wants to communicating with D. Here D is not in the range of A and B, but C waits until the path is empty. This wastes the time period much. So to avoid the exposed terminal problem, so in this way we have to reduce the exposed terminal problem. So B sends RTS frame to both A and C, but C wants to communicate with some other node, so automatically, so both B and C using same medium at a time. So with MACA, B has to transmit an RTS first containing the name of the receiver and the sender. So here the receiver is A. So C's receiver is D. So B's receiver is A, C's receiver is D. So here the receivers are different terminals. So at a time both C and B transmits the data. So C does not react to this message as it is not the receiver, but A acknowledges using a CTS which identifies B as the sender and A as the receiver of the following data transmission. So C does not receive the CTS and concludes that A is outside the detection range. So C can start its transmission assuming it will not cause a collision at A. So here whenever the packet this RTS reaches to A, C knows B wants to communicate with A, not to C or not to D. So B wants to communicating with A. So D is empty. So now C start its communication with D. This problem with exposure terminal is solved without fixed access pattern at a base station. Okay, these are the solutions for hidden terminal problems and the exposure terminal problems by sending these RTS and CTS frames. This is for hidden terminal problem. A sends RTS frame, B sends CTS to both A and B, A and C. The exposure for avoid the exposure terminal problem, B sends RTS frame to A, RTS frame to C. By receiving these RTS frames, C knows B wants to communicating with A, so D is empty. So now the next one is polling. The polling schemes are used when one station wants to be heard by others. So the polling is a strictly centralized scheme with one master station and several slave stations. So one master station and several slave stations. These slave stations has to follow the orders of master station. The master can poll the slaves according to many schemes. That means master terminal and the remaining are the slave terminals. So these master terminal or master allocating some particular time slots to the slaves, some particular duties to the slaves. In that particular slots only slaves transmitting the data. So when they transmit the data, that time slots that can be maintained by master station only. So the master can poll the slaves according to many schemes. One of the best schemes round robin, only efficient if traffic patterns are similar over all stations, or randomly, or according to reservation. Classroom examples with polite students. There is the example for the reservation. Which one came first? uh, that depending upon the situation. So the master can hold the slaves according to many schemes. Which one has to transmit the data depending upon round robin or depending upon randomly or depending upon the reservation. So the master could also establish a list of stations wishing to transmit during a contention phase. After this phase, the station polls each station on the list. For example, randomly addressed polling. And the base station signals read to all mobile terminals, and terminals read to send a transmit random number without collision using CDMA or FDMA. These terminals ready to send transmit random number without collision using either CDMA or FDMA. So there in CDMA code is allocated, in FDMA some frequency is allocated for that particular channel, so collision is not on. So the base station chooses one address for polling from list of all random numbers. So the base station acknowledges correct packet and continues polling the next terminal. This cycle starts again after polling all terminals of the list. The next one, inhibit sense multiple access. So here in the inhibit sense multiple access, this scheme which is used for the packet data transmission, service cellular digital packet data in the AMTS mobile phone system is also known as digital sense multiple access DSMA. Here the base station only signals a busy medium via a busy tone on the downlink. So after the busy tone stops, accessing the uplink is not coordinate anything further. So the base station acknowledges successfully transmissions. The mobile station detects a collision only via the missing positive acknowledgement. In case of collisions, additional backup and retransmission mechanism are implemented. So retransmission mechanism is implemented. Inhibit sense multiple access. So whenever accessing the data, if the device is busy, it waits for some time. Whenever it is after the busy tone stops accessing the uplink, it is not coordinating and further. So the base station acknowledges successful transmissions. So this is about inhibit sense multiple access. Polling means here the master allocating time slots to the slaves. In that particular time slots only, slaves using the medium. So how the master allocating the time slots to the slaves? That is depending upon either round robin or round robin scheme or randomly or depending upon reservation. So these multiple access with collision avoidance, which is using for hidden and exposed terminal problems are solved by using these multiple access with collision avoidance by sending these RTS and CTS frame, request to send frame and as well as clear to send frame. So in this session, we are starting with packet reservation, multiple access, completed reservation TDMA and multiple access with collision avoidance, polling and inhibit sense multiple access. So all these are the TDMA, time division multiple access techniques. So Aloha schemes or multiple access schemes or reservation schemes. So all are under the category of time division multiple access TDMA. So TDMA is the best flexible mechanism which is using for wireless communication technique rather than the other medium accesses. So TDMA is more preferred than other, which is flexible when compared with the other medium accesses. So in this lecture, we completed the topic TDMA, time division multiple access. In the next lecture, we are move on to code division